What's going on YouTube? Vincent here with Hidden Gems, back at it again, this time with the Beastie Boys album, Paul's Boutique. Another thing I wanted to do with Hidden Gems was talk about underrated albums, and I feel like this is the most underrated album for the Beastie Boys. It was one that did not get a lot of attention off the gate just because of License to Ill just came out. Everyone wanted party anthems, rock anthems, Fight for Your Right to Party Part 2, but the Beastie Boys said they were over it and they felt like that they needed to do something different. They go really well in depth about this album and discussion of how they felt between License to Ill and Paul's Boutique in their documentary The Beastie Boys Story, which actually brought this album to light for me, and I just realized how great of an album it was. It was very sample heavy, very well produced with the Dust Brothers and by the Beastie Boys, and just kind of showcased what they wanted to do going forward. And I feel like without this album and them trying to do what they wanted to do right off the bat, then maybe we don't get the rest of the Beastie Boys discography. If they just decided to do a repeat of License to Ill, maybe they don't become as legendary as they do with their production, with their sounds, with their writing. So I feel like Paul's Boutique is what started it for him, and then it continued to grow from there. So the first song that you hear after the intro is Shake Your Rump, which is a great opening song for this album with the production, and I love the bass drop that comes in on this album too, to kind of explode out the gate and pretty much state we aren't the same Beastie Boys, this is what we're going to be doing from here on out. Great song front to back, and it's just a lot of fun to listen to, and you can really feel the bass drops when you have the headphones on, or a nice bass, just boom, gets you going, and the rest of the album kind of takes over from there. Another one for me is Eggman. A lot of the lyrical content in this album was kind of all over the place. This song is not an exception here. I mean, it's basically them just rapping about some dude that's like an egg, Humpty Dumpty, falling apart, but it's just a fun track. It's just really dumb, just really fun track though, with great production. Keeps it moving, but again, songs about an egg, don't really get it, but again, great song to listen to and just a fun track to listen to. One of my personal favorites for some reason is The Sounds of Science. Again, another song that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, just lyrically fun, making fun of science terms, going back and forth, mentions Ben Franklin, really fun track. And the part that got it for me was the end. So it starts off with them like going vocal delivery, rapping back and forth, which I love that they kind of like somehow timed it to make it a perfect transition between all three of them and going back and forth. And then at the final end, they all come together, start rapping together, then they do their own single parts. But the samples on here are just really well used. Like the end part of the song with the Beatles usage of the sample, believe it's back in the USSR, to end the song, just to make it go from like a calm, goofy song to more in your face with some rock vibes. And again, the usage of the Beatles sampling was phenomenal on here. The lead single off this album was Hey Ladies. Not preferably my favorite track on this record. It's still a good song. I get why I got the single label, but I feel like there was other songs they could have used for the single. Hey Ladies was probably one of the heaviest sample usages. It had like 16 samples on it, but for this track you can't even tell. It's just so seamlessly put together, again with production from the Beastie Boys and the Dust Brothers, just bringing it all together and making a good single. Still, again, feel like another song could have been used, but great song front to back. And then the song that I like because of the change in dynamic, they go from rapping, sample heavy, and then they go to a super strong, heavy song here with Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun. I feel like this is the song that they wanted to do, just to go back to more of a punk vibe. The vocals are more up front, the vocals are more in your face, and more angst, more angry. And then the same thing with the guitar, using Mississippi Queen as a sample but overdubbing it and doing a more consistent heavy sound with it. Great song. And then you can also tell, again, those punk vibes, they want to get back to it and bring it forward. So for me, this is probably my favorite Beastie Boys record. Again, a lot of people thought that this was just a dead record, they wanted party anthems, but one of my favorites, and definitely one of the albums that should get more recognition for the Beastie Boys, which I've seen it does now, with considering the sampling and the production that came out at the time and what they did to where sampling and production is now. So album all the way through is great, but for me the hidden gems in here again are Shake Your Rump, Eggman, The Sounds of Science, and Looking Down the Barrel of a Gun. So go ahead and give it a listen. Feel free to comment with any suggestions you may have. Thanks, guys.